In this video, we'll be painting and learning how to play the BARC Speeder in Star Wars Legion for the Republic Army.
So you've built and primed your BARC Speeder. What do we do now? Well, first I'm going to actually glue in this piece, which is the piece that connects into the bottom of the speeder. So just give it a rotate until it clicks in, and then you're going to glue it onto one of these parts with the speeder facing the other way. So I'm going to glue it with the center of the speeder in the center of the back quadrant. And yeah, just put a little bit of super glue down there. When you're happy with that, I'm not going to glue the BARC Speeder onto the thing yet though. So just add a little bit of super glue and then we will start the painting process. Now that the stand is glued to the base and drying, we're going to do a pretty much complete layer of white all over the model as a base layer. Now, if you actually primed your model white or like cool white to begin with, this would make this just forget this step, and it makes it a lot easier. But at the time I only had black primer, so I'm going to just go ahead and cover the whole model in white. Now that I've given it a white coat all over, I'm going to pretty much dunk it in Nuln Oil to give it a good detail wash over the whole thing. So yeah, don't worry if you get white in spots where it shouldn't be white, because we're going to touch it up a little bit later anyway. So once you get it over 98% of the model, go ahead and hit it with a good Nuln Oil wash. Now after the Nuln Oil dries, we have a pretty nice result of some good shadows, stuff like that. And the white doesn't look too clean, looks a bit streaky, like these guys have actually been in a battle. So just to let you all know, I will be painting these guys up as per the outdated card that you get with the BARC Speeder. So we're going to do some nice red highlights shortly, but for now we are going to go around the model just with some grays. So we're going to do the front part of the fan looking thing. We're going to do the guns. We're going to do the engines at the back. We're going to do the footrests. We're pretty much just going to go around, including the connector in between the sidecar and the main cart. We are going to just hit the whole thing with some darkish gray. I will be using Lead Belcher from Citadel. Now that the metallics are all painted, we are going to get hitting the bazooka with some black Templar contrast paint, and also the hands of the clones as well. So that's what we will be doing now. Now I'm just going to use some brown on the seats that they're sitting on. I'm just going to color it in. Maybe it's just like leather. Just some brown paint on the chairs. So next step is we're just going to do some freehand red on the bikes themselves, just like on the picture. So as you can see, the front part is all painted red. Inside the grille is all painted red. Looks like their shoulder pads are painted red with a white trim. And it also has the the side cart all painted red as well. So I'm just going to add a bit of red and make it kind of look nice. That's my big plan. I may have gone a little bit overboard, but I'm really liking how this is turning out at the moment. So next, I am just going to black in the eyebrow, I guess you'd call, on the helmet, and also the visor itself. Then I'm going to go around just to all the little parts of the body that is blacked out, and I'm just going to fill it with a little bit of black paint. Now, as you can see, we're almost done. So now I'm just going to bring out the old white again. Doesn't have to be too clean, because you want to make this actually look like it's been in a battle, in a war. But you just pretty much do it up to what you feel like you're comfortable with. So just grab that white paint and go to town. So the BARC Speeder is now painted, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. It's got a bit of red here and there, and I think it looks super cool. So now that that's done, we're going to go ahead and paint the base. So I'm going to paint it the same as our clone troopers. That way, when it all sits side by side in the army, it'll all pretty much gel well. So Saying that, the two paints that I use for these will be Astro Granite Technical Paint, which is a bit of a lumpy 3D almost paint, which makes a bit of texture, and then XV88 over the top of that. Now, while I'm doing that as well, I'm going to make sure not to get inside the recesses, and I'm actually going to use this bright orange paint. I'm using Citadel Troll Slayer to get into the grooves of that one and just make sure that's all highlighted. That way, when I use this bad boy in battle, I know exactly where the back cone and the forward cone is on the model. Now that my base is dried, you can see that it's got a little bit of texture on there, so I'm going to paint over it with XV88. Now, of course, you can do your base any way you want, but I'll be trying to do it the same as my other units in this army, so it'll be XV88 and then adding some grass tufts in there. But like I said, you can just kind of paint it any way, which way you want. I think armies kind of look best when they all have the same like base, because when you put them all together and they kind of just makes it all gel a bit better, but totally up to you. So, you could already be done at this point, is what I'm trying to say, but I am going to just put some XV88 on this bad boy right now. We only have 2 steps left now, which the first of the 2 is going to be super gluing just a couple of grass tufts onto this base here, just to give it a little bit more interest and some stuff that's going on. So, yeah. And for our last step, we're going to be gluing the BARC Speeder onto the base handle. So just gluing it onto the clear handle here and keeping it steady and in the right direction until it completely dries. And then we got ourselves a completed BARC Speeder. So now that you've done your BARC Speeder, it's all painted up and glued and assembled and everything like that, let's go ahead and learn some rules about how this bad boy works in the tabletop game Star Wars Legion.
The BARC Speeder is a 65-point support unit that has 2 upgrade slots, crew and comms. It is a 1 model unit with 5 health and 3 resilience. Resilience replaces courage for vehicle units. When your vehicle/support unit has a number of wounds equal to the resilience value, after resolving the effect that caused this, you now gain a vehicle damage token. When you activate a vehicle or support unit with a damage token, roll a white defense die. If your result is blank, then you perform 1 fewer action on your activation. Vehicles can only have 1 vehicle damage token at a time, and once per game, even if you heal your resilience and then gain damage past your resilience again. The BARC Speeder has surge to hit on attack and is a 3-speed unit. Here's some stuff you need to know about vehicle units that we will cover now. Firstly, displacement doesn't exist anymore, and every vehicle unit can now perform a free 90-degree pivot on its activation. Vehicle units move differently than standard trooper units and must adhere to their notch bases. When moving, make sure that your movement tool is snugly inside the notch part from part of the base. Vehicles have a few other need-to-know features when it comes to movement too. Vehicle units can perform a reverse movement where you place your movement tool inside the rear notch of the base. When you reverse, you also reduce your movement speed by 1 to a minimum of 1 speed. Many vehicle weapons rely on front-facing and rear-facing cones to where the model is located, so vehicle units can pivot on the spot up to 90 degrees of where it's located. In terms of keywords, the BARC Speeder has 3. Arsenal 2 allows this unit to use up to 2 different weapons when attacking. Cover 1 improves your cover by 1 when you're defending with this unit. Lastly, Speeder 1 allows you to perform a free compulsory move either at the start or end of the activation. While moving, you also ignore any terrain at height 1 or lower. Now, a compulsory move means that the unit must make a full move at its maximum speed. If it can't do the full move, or the unit leader's base would be inside terrain, then the official rules state that you must end your movement as far along the movement ruler as possible. The BARC Speeder has 2 options for weapons without upgrades. Firstly, the DC-15A blaster rifle is a 1-3 range weapon that uses a black attack die. Secondly, the twin light blaster cannons are a 1-3 range weapon with 1 black, 1 red, and 1 white attack dice. This attack is fixed front and must be fired within the front cone notches located on the base. Let's chat about upgrades for the BARC Speeder. Firstly, let's cover the crew upgrades available. Now, all 3 of these upgrades will reduce your speed by 1. BARC Ion Gunner is 28 points and is range 1-3 with 3 black and 1 white attack dice. This weapon is fixed front and rear, meaning that you can only fire it within the front or rear cone indents of your unit's base. Ion 1 means that any hit or critical that is rolled against your defending unit, they must flip 1 shield token before they roll their defense dice. Impact 1 means that if your opponent has armor, you can change a hit result to a critical. Critical 1 means that you can convert one of your surge results to a critical. BARC RPS 6 Gunner is 21 points and is range 2-4 with 1 red, 1 black, and 1 white attack dice. This weapon is Impact 2, which means that you get to change 2 hit results to criticals when your target has the armor keyword. This upgrade has friend of the channel Republic Android's seal of approval. BARC Twin Laser Gunner is 18 points and is range 1-3 with 2 black and 2 white attack dice. This weapon is also fixed front and rear, meaning that you can only fire it within the front or rear cone indents of your base. Don't forget as well that this unit has Arsenal 2 upgrade, meaning that you can mix and match the 2 baked in attacks with one of the crew upgrades. Let's talk comms upgrades. Personally, I don't think the BARC Speeder should be used with comms upgrades due to how expensive it is with a crew upgrade, but I'll cover the upgrades that come with the standalone and the core set. So first of all, long range comlink has been removed from the game in the latest update. Now, let's cover the 2 upgrades that come with the standalone expansion. Comms Jammer and Linked Targeting Array. Comms Gem is 5 points, and any enemy at range 1 cannot be issued orders unless they are issuing an order to themselves. Linked Targeting Array is 5 points and grants the unit Target 1. Target 1 means that when this BARC Speeder is issued an order token, it gains 1 aim token. If you have any spare points left over in your army, then Linked Targeting Array is pretty good, I suppose. And now, you know all there is to know about the BARC Speeder. Will you be using the BARC Speeder in your Galactic Republic armies? Let me know down below. Next up for the Legion videos, we have the Empire's 74Z speeder bikes. If you enjoy Star Wars Legion, please subscribe for tons of future content and keep it locked to the Calapanes channel. Thanks for watching and goodbye.